Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to F1 22, my team career mode, for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The home of Ferrari, the first sprint race weekend of the new season. Lately, Sergio Perez has been the dominant driver. He won in Saudi, he won in Australia. We had a engine failure in Australia, so Sergio now leads the championship by quite a ways. We lead the championship in the constructors' standings from McLaren, 110 points ahead of McLaren's 57. So yeah, first sprint race of the season. Let's see how it goes. Let's head to qualifying. Here we go for the sprint here at Imola. 5-lap sprint. It's lights out and away we go for the sprint race. We got pole position. However, Checo, like he's been doing, and that's Lando Norris going off. And Lando is down to dead last now on the grid in the sprint. A race that determines the starting order for the race on Sunday. Granted, I was the one who squeezed him off, but for what I'm going to say is I felt I was getting squeezed by my own teammate of Sergio Perez. But the matter of fact is I was the one who squeezed Lando down into the grass. We'll see how that works out, because now this is going to help Red Bull in the constructors' fight. So we move on to lap 2 now. He pulls further ahead in the first sector and the start of the second sector. These corners on quicker in the second sector. and down towards the main straight. I want to kind of wait for DRS, but at the same time I don't. I know he's faster than me. Oh, and we're both off. Oh, and he's stopped it. Sergio stopped it in the middle of the track. Causes a huge parking lot, which actually helps Red Bull even more because now they have their main man of George Russell up into P3. So I'll be good amount of points there. Lando's still at the back of the pack in P21, only ahead of the Williams. Can't tell if that is Dan Ticktum or the other Williams of Oscar Piastri. I do know is I have a 11-second gap with 2 laps to go in the sprint. I really don't know what happened there between me and Sergio, but in the end we both went off, and I was the one who got going again. Sergio is catching. Red Bull kiss your prayers because they have been answered. Even though Liam Lawson will not be able to beat Jehan Dervula, their main competitor of Lando Norris is down at the back of the field, and who knows, maybe won't even score a single point this race weekend. We will see in the Grand Prix on Sunday, but a P3 will bring Red Bull closer. A P3 in the sprint race will bring the gap closer. We are going to take the checkered flag. And we'll be starting P1 in the Grand Prix on Sunday.
Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current leaders continue to extend
other team that closes up to McLaren is Ferrari. They are 6 points behind McLaren. Red Bull only 2 points from McLaren. This could be interesting because not only will Russell be starting P3 in the Grand Prix, but Lando Norris is going to be starting way down in P18. So this is a massive open goal for Red Bull and Ferrari, because they are also chasing after McLaren. We'll see you at Lights Out on Sunday. So it's rainy here in Imola for the Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. We're going to try and cover off our teammate. It's actually going to let George Russell take the lead. Into turn 1 we go. Russell stays ahead. Slight contact to the back of the Red Bull. It has been so long since we've seen a Red Bull up at the front. This is just bringing back good memories to Red Bull from Season 1 when they were leading most of the time. It was either Max Verstappen and Red Bull, or myself, or Tictum back in Season 1. Those were the good old days with Red Bull. They won that season's Constructors' Championship. Ever since Season 1, they've been on a downturn. Russell holding firm. Trying to not let this slide away. Literally. This could be a very important race victory to Red Bull. Not just because it will be their first since, I believe it was Mexico Season 1. Max Verstappen was the last Red Bull race victory in this career mode. So it has been a awful long time since we've seen a Red Bull up at the forefront. Well, this just goes on to prove that Red Bull signing George Russell was a smart idea, because he is now leading a Grand Prix ahead of myself and Checo. And granted, he is also kind of dominating here a bit. He is kind of slow. We are staying within range of him for a possible attack down the main straight. However, he is quite quick with that Red Bull. It isn't a matter of Red Bull isn't quick. It's the matter that they haven't been competitive anymore since Season 1. They got really hampered by that regulation change at the end of the season. That, and just Verstappen getting very, very disappointed, and he started losing focus. Red Bull started losing focus, because there were times where Red Bull were so much more dominant than us that season, and they ended up losing the Drivers' Championship. Well, now we made the move on George Russell, and clearly we are much quicker than the Red Bull double purple sector, trying to win our 43rd career race victory and drag in some more points on Checo. It would be nice to see Russell and Red Bull back on podium. Russell hasn't been on podium since the Season 2 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where he came P2. Unfortunately, Mercedes did not enjoy him beating Lewis Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship. They let George go, demoted him back down to Williams. He's been there for ever since that time. Well, now he's back up in the front with a team that dominated over the season in Season 1. He's with Red Bull, the Season 1 Constructors' Championship winners. Well, he's looking to aim at getting Red Bull back up to the front. Red Bull very much pleased with Russell's performance at the moment. He's holding Checo behind him, which is also helping me in a way, because it lets me be able to drive out further ahead and try and get more and more clear of Sergio. Sergio in the lead of the Drivers' Championship by 25 points after our DNF out of the Australian Grand Prix. It was our first DNF since Mexico Season 3. Season 4 saw a turnaround. We joined powers with Audi. We left Porsche. We formed an alliance with Audi power units. We ended up dominating the end of the season from round 4 to round 15, and then Michael Schumacher ended up winning the final race, and then he bowed out of Formula One with 95 race victories to his name. He also pulled his son Mick Schumacher out of Formula One. We kept Audi racing with us because it was our most successful power unit. We are still powered by Audi. Australia was the first ever mechanical failure with Audi as our power unit. Pulling further and further ahead. George Russell still doing well to hold ahead of Sergio Perez. Lando Norris still struggling to try and get up to the point-paying positions. he's going to be mighty, mighty disappointed with what is happening here. He's got a Red Bull in P2, and he's got his teammate being attacked by the second Red Bull. Imola is not exactly a circuit where you can overtake very easily, and especially in these conditions, I don't see any way that Liam Lawson is going to get past Daruvula unless Daruvula makes a mistake, which is highly likely that the AI could make a couple of mistakes in these conditions. Seen it happen in completely dry, sunny conditions here at this very circuit. They just sometimes cannot keep hold on their cars. Well, now it's raining. Lando trying everything to get up to the top 10 where points are awarded. He has finished in the points for so many races in a row. Well, after misfortune in the sprint race, this may be the first time in a long time that Lando has not been in the points. He's gotten around the Alfa Romeo, who is holding him back. So the rain is starting to go away. This could actually favor the McLaren, because if it turns to drive tire weather before the end of the race and everyone switches to dry tires, then it could be a very good opportunity for the McLaren to pull back some positions and maybe get up into the points. Eight laps to go here in Imola. It's a sight to behold. Red Bull back on the podium in Formula One, possibly with George Russell taking his first podium position finish since Abu Dhabi in Season 2. Russell, there was an opening back at Mercedes he could have gone to with the retiring Max Verstappen, but he decided to go to Red Bull. He saw something there that he liked. He went to Red Bull, and now only a handful of laps away from taking a first podium finish with the Charging Bulls. And he'll be very much favored by the team. after this finishing order. The gap very close, however, between the top 5, 6 drivers, not including myself, from Russell down to Stroll. Less than 2 seconds separates the 4 of them. Okay, mate. I apologize that the tires are starting to wear down and it's raining. Well, now we have a 3-second time penalty to deal with. And we have an Alpine that has either spun off or has just, I do believe he's just spun off, so we're going to take a quick gander here. Oh, yep. Here we go. It's Alexander Albon. Just clipped those sausage curbs. That doesn't really show much for you guys. Just clipped those big yellow sausage curbs and causes the whole mess. So yeah. Lando Norris is up to P12. So he is possible of getting up into the points. However, not probable. But that McLaren is very quick, even in these conditions. Less than 6 laps to go here in Imola. Russell holding firm in P2. He's holding a bit of a gap, too, over Checo. It's not Checo being right on Russell's gearbox. Russell is holding a bit of a gap over Checo. So Checo's struggling in these conditions a bit to try and overtake the Red Bull. Red Bull can somehow keep this going. We'll get some good funds. I'm sure by the end of the season, we'll be able to see some more appearances from the Red Bull drivers on that podium. Track kind of coming back to me a bit. Double purple sectors. Four laps remaining. can't see any way that Lando gets up into the top 10. And with the gap that Russell keeps on holding over Checo, I also don't exactly see how it's possible for Checo to try and overtake George, but still, only coming to 3 laps to go. There's still time. But Russell very quick through the second and final sectors. However, not quite quick enough to try and pick up time on me, which is what he would like to do. I'm sure. If we were to pit now, we would still come out 4th. I don't really need to pit, though. Yep, Russell just keeps on holding on to a good gap over Checo. Lando now up to P11. Honing down on, I can't tell if that is which AlphaTauri driver that is. Lando Norris looking to try and make the overtake. Answer the damn question, Mark. He's not answering the question. And there it is. Checo makes the move on Russell. Russell now down to P3. 2 laps to go. Can he try and hold on to a podium finish here in Imola? As I alluded to some time ago, the gap between the guys in 2nd through 5th, very close together. Lance Stroll has actually fallen back a bit. Oh man. Bottas just cannot catch a break. It's another failure for the Alfa Romeo driver. Coming through to the final lap of this Grand Prix. Then, last lap here in Imola. Can Russell hold on to a podium finish? Can we hold on for one final lap to try and bring home only our 2nd race win this season? I say that, but this is only round 4. Nonetheless, oh, Leclerc's had a moment. He is far behind Russell. It is going to be a podium for the Red Bull. I don't know how that happened. Only 2 laps ago, Leclerc was right on the gearbox of Russell. I don't know what happened, but now Russell is going to be very much comfortable in P3. The Ferraris in their home Grand Prix are going to have a P4 and P5 finish. The McLaren of Lando Norris has coped well to bring home 1 point to McLaren's cause. We win here in Imola. It's going to be another 1-2 finish for our team. We bring the points back to us a bit more, and we chip away at Checo's lead in the championship. But the big story here is George Bloody Russell and Red Bull are back on the podium.
How did they manage to achieve this win? Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease. Here comes your top three, making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Let's see how the driver's standings have changed. Well, not the results our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick? It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today. Let's move on to the constructors. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, that is it for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Sergio Perez continues to lead the Drivers' Championship. However, the gap that was 26 points is now down to 17 points. And with that podium finish for Red Bull, they move up into P2 in the Constructors' Championship, the highest they have ever been since Season 1, where they won the Constructors' Championship. However, they are only 1 point ahead of the Scuderia Ferrari, however, 10 points clear of McLaren. The fight is not yet over, as it is only the 4th round out of 22. And so this, while a fantastic finish for Red Bull, and in Red Bull's eyes at the moment, this is a win, because they now hold P2 in the Constructors, which, like I said, is the highest they've ever been since their Constructors' victory in Season 1. They are going to definitely be praising George Russell for the next couple of races. We'll see how Liam Lawson gets on. But yes, George Russell definitely going to be a favorited by Red Bull at the moment. in the Drivers' Championship, the poor race weekend that led to Lando Norris only scoring one measly point over the entire weekend, lands with Lando going from P3 in the Drivers' Championship to losing 3 positions and going down to P6, 1 point behind the second Red Bull of Liam Lawson. George Russell 10 points behind P3 Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll is 3 points ahead of Lando Norris in P5. What a race weekend. We get the maximum points we can get. Sergio gets the second maximum. What a race weekend this has been. Not just for our team, but for both Ferrari and Red Bull. Red Bull taking P3 and P8 this weekend in the points overall, and Ferrari taking P4 and P5 in the points overall. And as I said before, not a very good weekend for McLaren. Only 9 points gained as an entire team over this race weekend.